Right, welcome back yet again. Childers Road Reserve here for Palmerston North Marist's penultimate fixture of the season versus your ALH Gisborne Thistle playing in the blue from right to left on your screen. Significance for Marist is that with a win today and anything apart from a win to Palmerston North United, who are at Tairāwhiti, would see them take the league out and the chance for promotion into the Central League via a playoff in a couple of weeks' time. Big in for Marist here would be Paul Awa, the number 10 up top, currently standing in front of Andre Bapel on the left side. And the big out will be coach Juliano Schmerling, who's not here. So there's your coach today, and Adam Cowan. Assumingly he's possibly the captain as well. But it's always a different side that Marist bring through to Gisborne. This time they've done the courtesy of bringing at least a couple of substitutes. And they've fired the first shot there with Zach Hughes, who gets his head on the ball now, and there's Awa. Fresh out of the Solomon Islands, of course, managed to play football in the Solomon Islands after the transfer deadline, but of course it was inside and with a smaller ball and less players. He's been playing futsal most recently after the conclusion of the regular outdoor season in the Solomon Islands. He managed to get to New Zealand just in time for the final promotion push. Big game on Wednesday night at Memorial Park between Palmerston North Marist and Palmerston North United, which will ultimately decide where the league goes, mathematical permutations aside. There's Noon at the back for Thistle with the authoritative header. His good mate Hugo Elwood sitting on top of him. Josh Kremen just drawing the foul there, bringing the ball out of defence for Palmerston North Marist. It's Cowan now, ball already off, looking for Awa into the box. Macaulay elects for safety, and it's a corner, first corner of the day for Marist here. Of course, the earlier kickoff time, allowing Marist to surely not have travelled down this morning, but you'd imagine they'll be on the way back today. Either that or the biggest of nights planned, perhaps, but you wouldn't think so ahead of an even bigger game on Wednesday. And Thistle here with the point to prove after you'd call it nothing less than a capitulation against Napier City Rovers reserves last Saturday. There's Cowan with the strike, and it's a top save from Stuart Hill. The eyes of the veteran would have lit up there, the opportunity for a volley from the top of the area. Noon with the defensive clearance there, and it's at Cowan's feet again. Bossall now, the other Solomon Islander, looks for the far post, but it's claimed well by Stuart Hill. He's got Royston on the right, look to break early. He's got Summerton on the inside, who'll look to go long for him here, which he does. The pressure on Troy Aitken, who looks to head back, and can Summerton get a toe not quite in front of Hayward. Bossall now carrying out a defence, finds his mate Awa again. Travelling dangerously across the field, showing a clean pair of heels. Just lacking that last touch, and it's like Cam Wallace playing up front for Marist today. Surely that's just a forward run, but he's stayed up there. There's Aitken now into the area, forced wide well by a combination of Noon and Sporforth. Here's Elijah Smith standing over the corner now. It's a menacing one right into the area across the face of goal. It's Corey Thompson who watches it out. But with the absence of Schmerling, Cowan's managed to convince his old teammate to come down and direct orders from the side, you would think. Looks like it's going to be the remedy on this one. Goes for the bottom left from his perspective, and it's another good save from Stuart Hill. Smith again goes high. Through traffic, Stuart Hill manages to punch. It's off the line by Thompson. It's Cowan getting to the byline. Elwood with the clearance at the near post. It's cut back by Rumeri that cleared well again. Here's Smith travelling across the area and into the box. His run is blocked by Noon. And results in a goal kick rather for Thistle. So Thistle will be happy to get through that first 10 minutes today. Parity on the score sheet. And Marist will be patient here. It's Baple now. Looks to get around Hughes. Manages to retain position. Summerton on his inside who evades the outstretched boot of Bossor. Wriggles his way through and gets the crossover. He's got Campbell Hall in the box, whose touch is just a little bit large. And it's meant just a goal kick. Special moment for the early kickoff. We're joined by Rangai Media CEO Shannon Dowsing. Good afternoon, Shannon. Just
become afternoon. I've cleared my schedule to make it here this afternoon. Got a game afterwards, which is great. I think it'd be my first game in about 8 weeks.
Game of anything or game of football?
Game of football, yeah. Yep. This is obviously the curtain raiser for the big game of the day with Thistle Youth versus Thistle Vintage on number one after this.
The Thistle Derby, of course.
Thistle Derby, far more prestigious than a little old left-footed fixture.
Yeah, speaking of prestigious there, Stuart Hill's just got his studs stuck in the turf there. So it's Marist still in possession, and that's where they have been for the bulk of the fixture so far. A couple of counter-attack opportunities for Thistle. Here's Awa, looking to get around Baple. But he's psyched him out of it and been forced back to Cam Wallace. Awa with another turn and strong challenge from Baple, and he's also won the goal kick. So what have you been doing for the past 8 weeks, Shannon, if there's been no football being played?
I've been bulking, yeah. It's part of my new, I'd say weightlifting regime, but the only weight that's being lifted is all being felt by my legs every day. It's constant league day.
Yeah, hard gains is a hard life, but someone's got to do it. There's Summerton's flick for...
He should be off.
Campbell Hall, who is offside.
Oh, and he's going to pick himself up a yellow for being silly. No? Oh, the rest didn't get away with it.
No, that's Central Football Referee Development Officer Russell Jones there. He's here for the football, not here for the funding, you would say. So a man that understands that these are just guys trying to enjoy themselves on a Saturday afternoon, barely. And he'll only bring out the cards if he really has to. It's Hughes in the box. Now it's really interchanging their positions as we go. Not quite a draw your positions out of the hat situation, but here's Minshew looking dangerous. Has Rumeri at the far post, and Royston manages to interrupt him enough to stop him from having an opportunity. This, of course, is the new improved Mitchell Stewart-Hill, who loves to go long, which is so good to see. Here's Summerton versus Hayward. Hayward uses his hands to get the ball first, which is what a good goalkeeper should do.
And of course, give the striker a little shove on the way through, which is the other part of the goalkeeping resume. Obligatory,
of course. Here's Awa. As Campbell Wallace underneath, Elwood tracking on the inside, Macaulay reaching him first, and Noon will make the clearance for Thistle. It's only gone as far as Awa again. Blocked this time from Corey Thompson.
He was giving him good attention.
Now there's the two mates from last fixture, last time Palmerston North Marist were here. Cowan raking the studs down the shin of Sporforth and pretending like he was going to get away with it, which evidently he did, as the red card was protested by Palmerston North Marist to Central Football, who rejected it, and then Marist didn't like that, so they went to New Zealand Football, who upheld the protest, and the red card was rescinded after all of that. So watch the number 23 in the blue for Gisborne Thistle, and usually the 7 for Marist. Cowan, of course, almost doubled the age of Sporforth, but it's not stopping him from getting into a little ding-dong battle. Minchell now into the area. Cross, but only as far as Elijah Smith, who couldn't quite get his head over the ball. Number 1's held up for another week, Shannon.
It has. Let's face it, in the off-season it's going to be beautiful.
This looks like it's browning off, just, you call it to the northern goalmouth. That, of course, was the area that turned into a swamp through most of the winter.
Besides a couple of sand traps, of course, which aren't typical to our sport. But
yeah, no, new bunkers installed on number 1 here. 3 of them down the right-hand side. There's Awa now. Scott Wallace on the inside, Rumedy at the far post, but not a lot of activity from those people.
I guess if you're going to remove the water, though, you might as well add the sand.
Yeah, it'd be a boring hole otherwise.
It would.
Feast in the Stablefoods, you'd say. Here's Summerton just getting a bit more exposure for Diggett Gizzy. Thanks as always to Josh and Luke, one of whom appears behind his billboard almost as if it was a set piece of his own. Here's Rumedy. Evades Noon and Royston and has a go. It's straight into the hands of Stuart Hill.
Well, Stuart Hill's doing a lot more than I'd like already in this game.
Yeah, he's been busy to be double figures. He's got his hands on the ball so far already. Not even 20 minutes into the fixture. It's Jimmy Summerton throwing his weight around there, winning through over Rumedy. Kremen now at the back. Has Aitken on his outside. Another position drawn out of the hat today, playing at a left centre back. Last time he was here, he was an attacking midfield role. Wallace now looks for Hughes, but Baple intercepts and finds himself on the wrong side of Hughes, who just opens the door and walks on through it. Minchell now into the area, look to cross here most likely. Squares for Hughes. Sporforth has all ball there. There's Summerton, who manages to get it under control, but it is then foiled by Bossel at the back. Here's Sporforth's first talking to of the day.
A little sad. I think he just honestly ran into a player who stopped in front of him there. There's much he could have done about it.
Yeah, he's a figure who finds himself in the mid-pitch dialogue, you'd call it, quite often.
Yeah.
Sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly. Here's Cowan. Puts the laces through it. Looks for Aitken at the far post.
Who
Who he's
has
found.
made a great run in to get that.
Trickles for a goal kick to the Thistle. Some shenanigans going on here in the grandstand.
Oh, that's a slightly early jump there.
On and off the pitch. Some young men looking for some exposure. We've got Blairs, Bataritas and Ewers, the next generation down.
Still doing reps of the stairs, which obviously no one at Thistle has done for about 15 years now.
They could have at least said hi, mum.
Yeah.
There's Owen now popping up on the left-hand side. There's Rumity underneath him, and probably could have been a first goal for Marist there, but blocked well by the Thistle defence. A few extra numbers in the middle today.
Yeah, came with his boot well. He'll just be disappointed there was so much traffic in front of him.
Stuart Hill going long. Only as far as the head of Bossall, an authoritative figure.
We can take a bit of control here if we get out to the right. Find some time. Oh.
Here's Thompson thwarting Cowan on that occasion, who has to scramble to recover it. It would have been a bit embarrassing. Someone young enough to be his grandson jacking him up like that, but never mind. He's an experienced campaigner and he'll brush that one off very quickly. And Somerton going in, he'll find himself a little yellow ticket. Just getting himself in the game there. The Golden Boot will go as far as saying winner for this season. He's 7 goals ahead of the guy who's next behind him, who's not even on the pitch today. That's Mason Charlton, who's got 10 with 2 games left to play, and Somerton's on 17 with, must be 5. Perhaps 4 games left, I would say, for the Thistle this season, including this one. Cowan again goes straight into the chest of Stuart Hill.
Yeah, no real danger there. More danger of trouble from all the pushing in the lineup, I think.
Kremen, a powerful header from the back.
I'd very much like to see Thistle take control of the ball and just hold on to it for a little while.
Here's Hall now. Looks to go early from the right-hand side, but a little bit too much toe in that one. The big toe might have been all right, but once it touches the second and the third, then you're generally not going to find it going goalward. Looking for the element of surprise, no doubt.
Yeah, it surprised me.
Hayward just taking his time here. Marist keeping this one under control in terms of tempo. Mitchell's got Kremen on his outside, and he's managed to get it through to Awa. There's Aitken showing up in the middle again. You really are playing fluid, Marist. You've got different guys popping up in all sorts of places. The only constant really so far has been Bosso at the back.
They're getting far too many opportunities to think that it's going to stay 0-0 for long, though.
Score prediction, perhaps, Shannon? What are you hearing here today? What's your internal voices telling you?
Well, it's a very different starting lineup from last week. I think that
nice piece of play there from Sportful, interchanging with Royston. He's got Salmon on the right-hand side. But Hall in the middle, who gets climbed by Hayward. He's made a bit of a meal of that, to be fair, but he doesn't mind a little bit of, what do we call it? Screenplay, would you?
Screenplay, potentially.
Adds a layer to on-pitch occurrences, does Hayward, from time to time. He's a man who operates at a high level of intensity.
Okay.
Which we've just seen unfold before us, and an interesting bit of dialogue from an assistant referee in the grandstand and one on the bench. Aiken there just trods on the ball. Somerton, who's on that yellow, does need to be careful how he challenges. Smith finds Cowan in the middle, who's advanced. Riley's lost his headband. Salmon's got that one at his feet, and it's a man who can jump. Adam Cowan, of course, has the ability to do a standing backflip.
I think he feels hard done by there. I think he scooped it under his foot.
It's Cowan now with his strong Zidane vibes from this angle. Left to run. Good to see the Putorino knee in full use there by Ryan Noon. He won't know what that is or what it means, but it's a significant thing to Thistle players of the past, of course.
See Baples returned for his headband. He'll be back at full power.
Just looking to find a way to get that to the head, of course, which he'll probably do now with the opportunity. Corner for Marist on the near side.
Obviously, he's already gone Super Saiyan this morning. He's sporting the yellow do.
Yeah, I think he's full-time Super Saiyan. He's seen enough bleach to probably keep it that colour for some time. Smith's not going to bother getting into the hedge for that one.
I think there's probably two in that hedge now, in a very similar location. Here comes the third. If someone could just kick that into the hedge over there, we'll find the other two.
Miraculously, another one appears in the Thistle dugout. Now in weather news, Shannon, we've got the double-digit forecasted overnight low tonight. Very exciting after a long winter.
That after a frost this morning, I don't often see on my lawn.
Consecutive frosts here in the Tairawhiti. Here's Hall on the right.
And yet a heavy rain warning for the coast.
That's more likely. That's what we came for. Hasn't rained for at least 3 days here.
It's true.
So we're going through drought conditions at the moment.
I've mowed my lawn twice in the last week, just to take the opportunity to have a turn.
Absolutely. Now that's Awa on the floor there. He's taken a knock in the heel, which won't be what Marist want to see. He made a pretty stern stuff from the Solomon Islands there. So he'll get up and get on with it, but doesn't seem too happy. It's like a accusatory glare heading in the direction of his Thistle opponents. Cowan now looks like he's going to try and bend this one.
Ooh.
Ends up with Minshall just off the penalty spot. As Wallace squares one. Minshall again, but Noon's recovered to clear. Cowan now has a go from distance. It's blocked by Thompson. A little bit more niggle share between him and Sporforth, and Maple does well to come away with that challenge. Minshall now travelling across the top of the box. Sporforth's going to draw the free kick there, and he's finding himself in the book for persistent infringement.
Well, chief ball seekers, Mark Maple and Fletch are seeking through the bushes over there, so we should have those balls back. It's an important...
I've just had my attention gained by what appears to be your long-lost twin who's just walked in, Shannon.
Oh, really?
Golden State Warriors fan, by the looks of it.
No, I'm not sure who you're talking about. That's all right.
He's hiding now. He's hiding now. Here's Cowan. Going for the far post again. It's Wallace at the far stick, and fantastic recovery from Stuart Hill. Made his way across the box there to punch it to safety. Elijah Smith laying prone on the goal line, who somehow didn't score. Shades of Nwanku Kanu from many years ago. He'll look to make things right by sending over the corner now. Heads goalwards and heads onto the roof of the net, you'd say, that time. Always funny when they talk about a finish from close range where a guy rattles it into the roof of the net. What they actually mean is the ceiling.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to talk about
The
now.
roof being an external structure, of course.
Indeed. Sporforth wins that one well over Napoleon Dynamite. He's got Hall on the right-hand side who's going to be offside.
One would argue, though, if you were to, say, be in a carport, which only had one layer, so, say tin on the top, tin on the underside, is it still the roof?
Yeah, it's like something that's got two names. If you're looking at it from the top, you're looking at the roof. If you're looking at it from underneath, you're looking at the ceiling. Like this grandstand, the J.D. Gillies grandstand that we are beneath. We're looking at the ceiling.
Or is there no ceiling in place and we're looking at the roof?
Yeah. Upon review, we are definitely looking at the roof.
Yeah.
So the ceiling is the internal structure. Glad to clarify that, with Somerton in position now, has Maple in acres of space out on the left-hand side. Comes back to Elwood. Noon now. I was looking for Somerton, only found Cowan. If you were looking for Somerton and you found Cowan, would you feel disappointed, or?
It depends. On the football field or
No, off the football
at
field.
the pub?
Off the football field. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be disappointed if I found either of them. Let's be clear.
It's incredibly diplomatic.
Now tell me, if there's a structural issue between a ceiling and a roof, and understanding the position we're in, how does a glass ceiling work?
That's just something that only pertains to Hillary Clinton, isn't it?
Of course.
Which is ancient history now. Seven picking up the scraps there at the top of the area, goes long and looks for Hall, who's definitely onside on this occasion, and rapid.
And the shoulder in, just for good measure.
Get a little bit of a reminder into Kremen, who managed to get to that one first. An experienced player, Kremen, of course.
That said, Hillary Clinton's probably got another 20 years in which she could be an American president.
Well, they just cryogenically freeze them, don't they? And then roll out the one who's the most defrosted at the time. Somerton travelling across the middle of the pitch. Can't get past the toe of Minshew. Thistle remain in possession until Zach Hughes says he's had enough.
I've got to say, they are just going forward as fast as possible but not retaining possession. It is frustrating to watch.
Like a teenage boy at a school ball perhaps, just keen to get the job done, but not thinking that it might take some time to put some groundwork in.
Yep.
All dressed up, but not enjoying the experience. Wallace went for the nutmeg there, but got the pass back from Baple instead. There's Sporforth snapping at his shins. Elwood goes for another long clearance. This one's stayed in, and Hughes has a little bit of a nervous moment there where it looked like he might have donated that one to Somerton, but Marist still in possession here through Aitken. Noon just leaves a little bit on Minshew there.
They're actually playing 5 at the back today, aren't they?
It does appear so. Elwood just dropping that little bit deeper instead of sitting in front of a 4. There's Elwood at the far post getting his head on that, but not enough power. Be good to see Marist back in the Central League. So they get through the playoff over Island Bay, and I mean, who knows these days, could be another team withdrawal, so they might not need the playoff anyway. That's how Whanganui Athletic made it in this season. But of course, hanging in by the skin of their teeth, and just one win behind North Wellington in terms of achieving safety.
That looked a lot like Davey Watson on a run on the other field over there.
I've seen Davey Watson just spurn a chance from close range on number 2.
I'm glad he's over there because it means he's less likely to be on the vintage against me. Although I'm likely to be on the bench all day, so that's fine.
Well, when you haven't played in 8 weeks, possibly haven't trained either.
No.
Yeah, Matt Harvey doing wonderful things with that Gisborne Thistle youth team. With the able support of one Martin Akers, of course the Napier City Rovers legend, who's seen the light and made his way through to a location closer to the equator, you would say. Bussell now, just to sneak around Somerton, but you can't do that. He doesn't like sneaking, Jimmy Somerton.
No.
He's a very overt character. He's tricky, but not sneaky. Also putting a bit of pressure on Somerton there. Injured Gisborne Thistle player Ash McMillan doesn't like it in the grandstand. Here's the boomy there.
Acting as if our players haven't given them a hell of a lot more attention than that.
Got Elliot Smith deep. Urumere again now interchanges with Wallace and has a go at the near post and almost sneaks it through but doesn't.
Now, if we can sneak a goal here, get one our way, I think that the Thistle team will settle down and start playing much better football. If it keeps playing like this, nerves may play into the game and we could see a change that pushes our team forward and start the potential to leak goals.
Well, a draw or a loss here for Marist really would be squeaky bum time because they've got their last game of the season against Palmerston North United, who are effectively in second place due to the amount of games they have in hand. As the Rumity gets into the area here, He looks to bend one into the top corner, and he's not that far away. That fixture on Wednesday, again, if there was a draw or a loss to Marist there, it would be really squeaky bum time, as they would then be able to watch Palmerston North United play their last 3 games of the season. A lot of it hinges on Taradale today versus Palmerston North United, who beat them last week when Marist didn't play. So it's the inconsistency, perhaps, could be the enemy of Marist here. It's Wallace looking to slip. Bossel, who's found his way into the area and has one off the crossbar. The only player who hasn't shown up in the complete opposite end of the pitch from where he started. And looks like a penalty blown now for Palmerston North Marist just in those closing stages of the first half. Outstretched leg of Sam Royston caused Napoleon Dynamite Luke Minshall to stumble. To his credit, he didn't hit the deck, but Jones has watched that one and seen the infringement, which to the letter of the law, just because somebody falls over doesn't mean it's not a penalty.
And whilst I didn't get to see anything here and make that call, I do approve of people not having to fall over.
Might I introduce you to the Tri-BAP, Shannon? Have a look at the Tri-BAP in your, whatever you use to get your app from store. TRIBE. Wonderful information from all over the place. Here's Awa. He's just psyched Stuart Hill out for that one, which gives the visitors the lead they need on their coronation journey. So around about, hazard a guess, 42 minutes into the fixture, you've got Palmerston North Marist, the visitors 1, ALH Gisborne Thistle 0, which, to be fair, is probably about fair at this stage. Now you just hope that doesn't take the wind out of the sails of Thistle too much, and see what they're made of here in terms of a response. Elwood looking for Royston on the right there, but this one Thistle right-sided player can't bring that one under control. He's got the turn here though, and he's played inside, and that one's just read by Aitkins. Ball forth again, needs to be careful here. Cowan looking to slip, and Moon's collected Awa. Who's pulled his shoulder out of its socket, trying to help him up. Good little bit of interchange on the pitch there between teammates. Differences of opinion. It's Cowan looking at goal. Hughes now going for Awa on that far post. It's an excellent defensive header from Noon there. Oh. Salmon's waited for Minshall to come over and look to tag him. Who again, to his credit, hasn't gone down, hasn't caused a fuss. There's Sporforth going in on Cowan. Cowan just ignoring him, which will infuriate Sporforth. And Awa has a go from distance. Decent little drop kick from Gisborne Thistle head coach Garrett Blair, supplying the ball back for Stuart Hill. He's going to go long, as per tradition these days. And he's got great length on those goal kicks. Here's Summerton ending up with the ball. He's got Hughes giving him close attention. Somehow manages to keep his feet and find Thompson in space at the top of the area. Goes for the slip, but it's intercepted by Kremen. Sporforth strike from distance is wide of the upright.
Can't have been too far off where
with where the ball ended. Nice to see a shot away at least.
Yeah, they've got the tools in the locker, Thistle. Just things seem to be conspiring against them for the past couple of seasons. I mean, you're looking at that table which sees them trailing Tairāwhiti at the moment, but for a disallowed goal and a curious penalty decision, that could see them 4 points clear of Tairāwhiti. And that's just fixtures between those two sides.
Yep.
Tairāwhiti, of course.
If we're hanging our season on individual referee calls, though, we're not doing the job right.
Absolutely. Football's about telling a story, isn't it? Here's the Rumere who's going to be offside. Last touch off the Thistle defender by the looks of it, but started in an offside position, which is the issue.
I think coping is about telling a story. I think football is about scoring and stopping goals. I think the stopping goals has been our issue.
Are we talking about literal or figurative coping here?
You know, like the kids say, coping.
I think you might need to enlighten me on what coping is.
All right, don't worry about it.
Especially with some of the kids talking about. I've never heard.
You've never heard people say coping? Stop coping.
Not a child.
No, I mean like teenage gamers. Yeah, gamers.
No.
It's a gaming term. Never mind.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I'll happily stay out of that world and less Minecraft and the more mining itself, the better. Apologies to the activists out there.
That's
Macaulay goes for the hook.
Unusual circumstances.
Yeah, it seems like he almost might have got a call to clear that one. Little miscommunication there. Marist with a late corner now. This will need to be careful here to make sure this one heads away from the goal as soon as possible. Smith taking it again. Summerton does his bit for the community in defence there, but a bit of confusion with Sporforth. So looking to build from the back here, must only be referee's time remaining. This time Mitchell goes down.
No, I don't think he's done anything wrong there though. I think the player on the ground just came off worse from his own challenge.
Well managed by Jones there, just telling everyone to chill out, it's just an accident. Don't think Macaulay's a nasty man, don't know him well, but it's Cowan now who's going to get a talking to. Who definitely won't appreciate being told to cool his heels, Cowan. He is a man who has earned the right to run the show, you'd suppose. But the referee's not to know that. Jones has no idea who Cowan is, really. He doesn't know the local game. He's just dealing with what's in front of him. And on that occasion, he said, "Stop telling me what to do."
So he didn't give him the infamous, "Don't you know who I am?"
You wouldn't think so. It's not an arrogance from Cowan. It's a understated sense of superiority that comes through.
Oh, it's understated superiority. Gotcha.
It's little comments, as you can see now, whether he's on shot or not, I'm not entirely sure, but the head bowed, the head dipped, little comments, just saying, this is all I'm doing, you know, I'm just being me over here, I'm not doing anything wrong, nor have I ever.
Anyway, let me take a break from you for at least 10 minutes.
See you on the other side. to see how being a retribution is. I thought I would just have to try it. Right, welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you're out there. And a special good day to Duncan Muir before I forget. Hope you're well, my friend. Appreciate the appreciation of the clarification between the roof and the ceiling. Don't know if we really, well, yeah, we did. We solved it, didn't we? There's Aiken now bringing a resolution of his own with Campbell Hall clipping his right ankle. Here's the man of the moment, Adam Cowan, coming over to display his latest plan. This one's bending. Onto the head of Elwood, who lets out a mighty roar. There's Hughes and Sporforth between.
Sporforth has done well there, even though
Zach Hughes,
Quarter
sometimes
clip.
known as Zach Jenkins, stands over Sporforth as if he's felled him with a right hook to the chin, but
that's a waste.
it's just friendly fire from the feet. Sporforth still down. Seeking some attention from physiotherapist Ruth Fletcher, courtesy of Dynamic Rehab, who is still here.
Thank
Looks like
God,
he
thank
was
goodness,
going-
because I thought it was going to be Fletcher Stewart Hill doing the doing the healing there, which of course would be contact care from, I'd imagine, from Fletcher, or would he use wizardry?
I think he's a needleless acupuncture, probably from Stewart Hill. I think that hat has probably many healing properties as well. Here's Sporforth. He's okay though. He's sitting up, he's upright, he's conscious, which is the main thing in a triage situation. Your doctor's ABCs, you've got to check those kind of things. And he's passed most of those tests. There could be some bleeding beneath the surface though. Could be an elaborate ploy to draw more sympathy from referee Russell Jones, knowing that he's on a yellow card and look, poor me, what has happened? He must give me a free pass for the next challenge.
I'd imagine that's it. Except I've never seen Cullen get a free pass.
I've seen him get a free tattooed.
Have you?
No. Just seemed like the right thing to say at the time.
Another commentary lie.
I'm not sure what you mean by another, but here's Russell Jones supplying the ball back to Mbosso. He's got Hayward beneath him, and here's Cowan on the ball. Looks to spray. He's gone down the middle, and it's fallen to the feet of Paul Awa, who's taken a big touch, which Stewart Hill manages well. Royston cuts inside in a big way, and Aitken gets the sliding challenge in. It's now Awa versus Noon. Awa with the throw is Smith. Cowan now. Awa, who's offside. Keenly spotted by assistant referee 2, Stella Pirano, there on the far touchline.
I feel good about this game now, Ryan. I know that, as we all know, running left to right on Childers Road Reserve is downhill. So we'll get an easier roll of the green here is what I'm saying.
Not once in all the years have I ever thought about either way being downhill here, but have you taken the spirit level out to the pitch, or?
I have levels on my cameras, which tell me that it's pretty much flat. But you know, a man can dream.
Smith with a sneaky little punch here. It's gone through to Wallace. Arumide supplies that one. Macaulay thwarts the turn of Wallace, and Thompson's come away with it. Salmon looks to put Summerton away, but wasn't that interested that time, the Gazelle. Minchell goes all the way back to Hayward. He's got both wide players in an acre of space. Sporforth now. Royston's given that one up to Minchell on the inside, who's got Wallace there, and the knee of justice comes across from Stewart Hill. Good to see. The second Putorino knee of the day. Hall goes all the way back to Elwood. Sporforth on his inside, who does a weird little stabby thing and means it's just a Marist throw. Of course, last week we saw from Sporforth the bunny hop challenge.
Yes. Yes.
Haven't seen too much of that today. Haven't seen any of that today, but probably not something you want to be trying to attempt on the yellow card, because if it's missed time, that means you're having a seat. Another point to mention before we forget, best wishes to Melville United today in their Chatham Cup semi-final against Waterside Karori, featuring Gisborne Thistle's own Martin Akers' son, George. Hughes making his way over to take this throw. A sedate start to the second half, you'd have to say. Noon's clearance has only gone as far as Rumere, but McCauley's there to clear it up. What's it called if you clear a clearance?
If you clear a clearance, well, it'd still be a clearance.
You just keep
Because
saying
you've cleared it.
I was hoping for
But
it.
surely the first one couldn't be a clearance if it wasn't cleared.
Yeah, attempted clearance. Oh, close range there for Awa. It's over the bar. Now, there's some stats. Not sure if it's transfer market or something perhaps even more reliable, such as Wikipedia, but it's got Paul Awa marked as 6'1". That's your number 10 for Marist there, who's about a head shorter than Thistle centre-back Noon, who's probably just on 6 foot.
Yeah. I think that might be an unreliable source.
You wouldn't want to be signing sight unseen. Good player, just not that tall. Here's the Rumedy now into the area. Good Thistle numbers there, 5 players behind the ball. Much better defensive attitude from Thistle.
Perhaps he didn't stretch today.
Thistle or Awa?
Awa. And surely you'd be taller if you stretched.
Hung from the ceiling in his hotel room by the feet.
Bat stretch.
Thompson there. Very creative back pass to Stuart Hills, not been picked up by the referee. Summerton's got Hughes attempting to thwart him. He's managed to get it to Hall. He's used the toes again and shrugged off Josh Kremen in a creative fashion.
This side. You got room out here.
As Macaulay plays quick, he's got Summerton in space where he likes to be. Just trodden on that one, and Cowan's come away with it and taken his free kick, as he is entitled to, of course. So what you have to do there, Shannon, is you do everything in New Zealand football and then look at the referee and he blows his whistle.
Yes. And just your like seething glance. You just need a look at my passionate footballing eyes. You know I can do no wrong.
Just trying to pick up the referee signal there. I thought that was a goal kick being awarded for some reason, but it's a second for Marist. It's Paul Awa who's crept through the defence and ended up with an easy finish.
It'd be an unusual goal kick to give.
Incredibly, it just all seemed a bit pedestrian for a moment there, and you thought there might have been something more going on. Speaking of going on, it's the number 16 for Palmerston North Marist here, Mason Charlton. Who's going to be looking to add to his 10 goals so far this season to see if he can catch the Gazelle in the Golden Boot race. Taking place of Campbell Wallace. Aitken's given Royston a shove here, but it's only really worked in his favour. Looks to cut inside. Hall now. Goes for the old sole of the foot into the left knee and outside of the foot back to the goalkeeper.
Honestly, it's the first back
Common
pass
ploy.
I've seen today, I think. But I'm happy about it. I'd rather see more of that.
Stuart Hill sends it back to the other end, but it's only gone as far as the head of Kremen. Playing a little game of pass the ball back to the goalkeeper here. Cowan has Aitken outside of him. Almost donates that one to Royston, but it's gone to Awa, who's crept clear of Sporforth. Slip there, which Macaulay will cover. Charlton for Aitken. Sporforth almost finds his way through and ends up with the free kick. Very nice manners from Sporforth there too. Very clearly heard to be thanking the referee for his decision.
Sporforth coming for water, he'll be careful, unlike last week. Nice.
Vivid in the memory as Hugo Elwood makes way for Dan Venemer. He's succumbed to a foot issue. Suspected plantar fasciitis. We've heard on good authority that it is not. Have to await the results of the biopsy, I suppose. That's Venemer slotting in on the right of a three. Marist looking comfortable here and just going through the motions, really. Perhaps looking to save energy going into Wednesday's fixture. There's Charlton, has Awa outside him. A tackle from Sporforth. Scott underneath, and he's got Royston trying to catch up with that one, but won't be able to. Thompson gets a half challenge in on Minshaw there, and Awa fells Royston, who lets out a shriek, which of course draws a whistle, as per custom. Sporforth going long, looking for Hall, but it's the head of Hughes. Summerton now. Just a cross on that occasion. It's been quiet today, Summerton.
That's very late offside call. I didn't think he was off either, but the referee is in a much better position than I am. Or the linesman. Assistant referee, right? Assistant referee.
Third time's a charm. That's the correct terminology these days. Smith getting one in on Thompson there. He's come well off the ball. Nice little reverse pass looking for Summerton, but doesn't quite make it. So championship week here at Childers Road Reserve, really the big fixture between Palmerston North United and Palmerston North Marist, scheduled for Wednesday night at Memorial Park under lights, supposedly, or since changed to Massey University, because I don't believe there are lights at Memorial Park. And it's not summer yet. There's Hall getting around Bosso, he's leant on him, and it'll be a free kick right on the edge of the area. So the fixture that this will look ahead to here, about to say that this one might have been gone, but maybe not quite, but if it is, what lies before them is Palmerston North United next weekend on the Saturday.
I'm going to say it's not gone, right? There's plenty of time.
Oh, look,
as I've already mentioned, it's downhill.
Nobody's got that horrible 5-1 lead. Thistle would still have 9 points available, 12 including next week, to claw back whatever Taradale can get from their last 2 fixtures. Currently have a 5-point advantage on them. And of course, Palmerston North United, if things don't go well for them, could even be within reach of Thistle. Here's Somerton, knocking it into the wall. Here's Thompson from distance. Little deflections drawn the corner for Thistle. Could have been one for the highlight reel there. Sporforth standing over this corner. Thistle looking to make inroads here.
Loading up the back post.
As Somerton gets the head to it. Good power, just not the direction.
Yeah, I felt like he just stopped his run, or timed his run a little better. He would have been coming onto the ball and had a better jump at it. But alas, it was not to be.
Salmon making a good recovery effort there, but coughing up the attempted pass. Sporforth nicks that one off the rim there. Hall looks to keep it in. Can't quite manage to.
So the midfield from Thistle is doing a much better job at returning and disrupting play this week.
Yeah, it's definitely looked a lot more like a football match this week as opposed to last week, which was just blindsided everybody. Probably no one more so than Napier City Rovers themselves, who would never have expected that. Sportforth just gets under that one.
Oh, he's giving one away here.
Given a bit of a donation, who stands on it, rolls his foot over it, looks to go with the right, and Hayward makes a good recovery save. There's Royston now. Sportforth getting in strong on that one. He's going to pretend like it didn't hurt. Here's Adumidi getting around Baple. Smith. And it's Noon's clearance. Minshaw settles things down as Smith on his right-hand side, whose cross is almost found Mason Charlton in the area. Smith now taking on Macaulay. Deflection off his own player. Means a goal kick for Gisborne Thistle. Shea Bogue warms up on the sideline there.
So that opportunity is still probably running through Jimmy's head. You would have put odds on him. He would have finished much harder goals this season.
Yeah, normally lethal. I'm thinking that he probably doesn't like the early morning, having to get up today, and likes his sleep-ins, does Somerton. He likes to do his own shopping, and he likes to have a sleep-in. Two things about Jimmy.
Is that to say that he's definitely got a teenage boy's wardrobe and
You'd imagine
that
there'd be
doesn't eat very well?
No. He eats exceptionally well. He's a nutritionist as
Is
a
he?
hobby. Yeah, not qualified, but
Oh.
does his own thing. Sporforth has picked up his second yellow there.
Has
His
he?
attention has been diverted. You have to check the replay on that one to see exactly what's going on, but it's Thistle down to 10 players.
Well, that's not going to help the fixture.
Yeah, you'd think that one definitely sees Marist with one hand on the trophy, you would say, for the season. Thanks to the wonders of modern technology, you see the cell phones go into the palms of the hand of the people in the crowd to see exactly what's going on there. As Josh Kremen wins the corner for Palmerston North Marist. Salmon with the clearance on that occasion. Cowan, whose cross is deflected, it's at the fast stick there for Bossor. There's Baple almost keeping that one in. And looks like Cowan bringing himself off there to inject Shea Bogue into the fixture. I think that it's Cowan saying job done. So it's a couple of moments of magic that we're looking for from the Gazelle, you'd think, to bring anything of value here for Thistle from today. That key midfield battle is over. There's no Sporforth versus Cowan because neither of them are on the pitch anymore, and different circumstances for both of them. There's Awa going at Royston. Gets around him. There's Smith in the middle who doesn't quite catch that one. Hughes looking for that one there, which is claimed easily by Mitchell Stewart-Hill. And Baple's off on one here. He's got Hall outside him. He was just watching in awe as Baple glided past defenders 2, 3 and 4. It's a good run, a well-weighted pass from Royston. Hall's gone for the up and under, but Hayward is alert to it. Got a link up there between the two mates on the right-hand side. Kremen now gets it back off Charlton, continues his run forward. Thompson's done well to hold him up there. As Dave Ewer gets ready for Gisborne Thistle, but first Hughes has the ball on the right-hand side of the area. Thompson gets a little heel in on Smith there. Bossor shows his experience and composure to cushion a header down to Troy Aitken. Smith's is on the right side of Macaulay from his perspective, and it's a lunging clearance by Ryan Noon. Here's the Rumiri over this corner. Still awake, Shannon?
Still awake, still awake. Just I see my team over there warming up, as well as my opposition. I'm starting to drift off into my own match.
Riddled with guilt. I don't know if that is your opposition you can see warming up there. I feel like that's the high school old boys.
Is it?
Who also don't have an opposition, but...
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't think Vintage, if there was Vintage, I don't think they'd be opening their gate quite as wide for fear of groin injuries.
Well, one might argue that it's potentially a better matchup, the youth team versus high school old boys.
Oh, I would have liked the high school old boys in the first division this year, for sure.
Yours into the fixture now.
I think there was... David, you're doing his best to keep people apart down there.
Former bouncer, of course, at... what was that one called that was where Gisborne Motors is these days? Well before your time, perhaps, Shannon, definitely before mine, but...
Gisborne Motors?
Yeah.
Where's Gisborne Motors? The Ford dealership. Yeah, no, that's before my time. There was a bar there?
Word on the street, there was a multi-floor bar there. You'd have to check Liam Clayton's current Gisborne and Districts photo page for further information on that.
Wow.
Dual yellow cards there for Hall and Bogue.
Not the bar that was pulled down behind my building.
Not Bricks.
Not Bricks. Being another multi-floor bar. On the same block.
I don't think I ever made it into the second story of Bricks. You're generally in and out of there as soon as possible.
You've let beer rule your life.
Still trying to figure out who that substitution was for the Thistle. Maybe they've just crept an 11th player on. Sam Royston, who's made way for Davey Ewer, who's gone into the midfield. It's like Thistle may have reverted to a 4 across the back again.
Yeah. So Andre's come forward as well.
There's Noon.
Oh, maybe not.
Putting the boot through it again. Ewer now under attention from Aitken, who's leant on him and
oh, that's an
elbow
interesting
through
one.
him. He may have killed him.
Yeah.
Bodies everywhere at the moment.
I'd imagine that a man with Davey Ewer's prep has probably already purchased his coffin and his plot. So this won't be too much of a drama for the family.
Looks like he's got a couple of places to drop it into the ground too.
Yeah.
The bunkers.
Yeah.
And he was pretty close to it, so that's good economy. Many more years available for D. Ewer.
It will be a surprise if council does ever decide to do something with this pitch and they start pulling up ex-Thistle members. Unmarked graves on number 1.
Here's Baypool down the left-hand side. Somerton looks to get around Bossor, but he's not going to catch up with that one before it goes out. Around about 15 minutes to play here. Hughes goes long with the throw. It's thwarted by Dave Ewer, who has made a miraculous recovery from the death's door.
Well, I believe it was actual death, Ryan.
Rephrase, Dave Ewer has made a miraculous recovery from conquering the grave. Not seen since around about 2000 flat years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Is BC the crucifixion? You know, the demarcation between BC and AD, is that the crucifixion or the
Before
end,
his birth.
the end of the resurrection? So 0 was Jesus born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I believe is also when Santa Claus delivered his first present. Is that?
Saint Nicholas is the formal name of Santa Claus. I think it's actually come out of the Catholic Church. And just a nice man who did lots of things, and gave gifts to people, allegedly.
And not sponsored by Coca-Cola whatsoever, right?
No, I think that's from the woke society, the Coca-Cola involvement in Santa Claus. Maybe Santa Claus wearing red. Could be a Coca-Cola kind of thing, but could pass from Venema into Salmon, who's acted quickly to try and supply a haul, but hasn't worked out for Thistle on that occasion. Awa looking to get around Venema, paying tribute to his Dutch heritage in the orange boots there, of course. I'll tell you who's a sneaky good player, Shannon. It's Luke Minshall, the number 18 for Palmerston North Marist in the middle.
He doesn't seem like he'd be sneaky. He seems like he'd suffer the same lack of sneakiness as the Gazelle.
Tricky, not sneaky, the Gazelle, but Minshall just doesn't get the miles in the press that his other more famous teammates might. There's Thompson, speaking of understated, again winning the ball there. It's a little deflection off Borsall, but he's kept it close. Somerton looks like he's limping as well, so as we've stated, bodies everywhere. We got Awa on the other side of the pitch down with some cramp. And about 20 people standing behind the Thistle dugout, which looks like it is your opposition, Shannon.
Yep.
So they'll just, of course, take off all their exterior clothes, which will reveal their uniform, which doubles as their pyjamas, and then they'll just walk onto the pitch and play. Salmon looking to heap a bit of pressure on Kremen, whose header isn't quite going to get to Bow. Throw for Thistle, and Somerton should look to get this one quickly from Ewer. He's gone for Salmon inside and
That's a...
tries
It's
to
a
slip
shame.
Ewer away.
David was away there. Now, answer me this, Ryan. Why are we doing commentary from the stands when we could have been doing it from a bouncy castle over yonder?
Yeah, shout out to Bubble Wrap Fun, Rob and Katie there, supplying the entertainment around the high school old boys fixtures, and evidently around the Thistle fixtures today. Plenty of room on the Childers Road Reserve for a bouncy castle, and everybody should get right on board. And here's Mateo Godoy, making his first appearance at Childers Road Reserve. Of course, was listed to be here previously, but never actually made the trip. And he's replaced Paul Awa.
What do you think? Sneaky one here and then we're back on?
I'm definitely keen for a sneaky one here and being back on.
Yeah.
Just seen a...
Put a little panic into them for the last 15 or 10 or whatever we've got left.
I've just seen a member of the local Elgin community having a small dialogue with Adam Coward on the sideline here. Just keeping an eye on that, but looks like he's gone back into his area of safety as Somerton stands over this free kick for Thistle. It's bent it low and it's a sneaky one.
Oh.
Speaking of tricky, not sneaky, that was 100% sneaky from Somerton there.
That was very sneaky.
Perhaps showing a new side as we get into these last 10 minutes
The
of the fixture.
The question is, did it just not have as much swing as he wanted? Because it could have been trying to be tricky, but ended up sneaky.
In any case, skillful. He's got a wand of a left foot, Somerton, and looks like a sore right side, which is a mild concern.
Handball. That was a great one.
Handball from Godoy there. Unsure exactly what he was planning there.
Oh, and then
Ewer's done well to recover there.
very well.
Tempers fraying on Childers Road Reserve. It's the 2-0 lead, which, as we know, Shannon, is not a great score to be leading by.
No, terrible.
That one's found its way
I
over
couldn't
the
think of
touchline there.
anything worse with 10 minutes to go.
Very insecure lead, especially when you're playing against 10 men, you know. The foot just comes off the pedal. A couple of lapses in concentration. No matter how sore Jimmy Summerton's right side is, which he's longingly looking to the bench for some sort of relief.
No, he's a little teapot. It's okay.
Call him a long teapot, perhaps, Summerton. No, I don't know firsthand, but I don't think there's anything little about him. We've got full time on the top pitch, which suggests that we're quite possibly into referee's time here. You'd think a little more than that. It's Aitken at the top of the box. And Charlton, man on the spot. They don't need to worry about the 2-0 lead anymore because it's 3. Mason Charlton's 11th goal of the season.
And on that note, I am going to get geared up for my game, Ryan. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm glad I've been here to correct you so many times. It's been important.
Honesty is indeed key. Speaking of.
Yes.
Here's Jimmy Summerton making way, succumbing to that injury. It looks like Alex Shanks is going to get the chance up top. It's a late hat trick on the offer here for Shanks. And it's a fond farewell to Rangai Media CEO Shannon Dowsing, who we'll see again next week for the visit of Palmerston North United. A little bit of shenanigans going on in the middle there between Macaulay and Aitken. It's noon now. So this will look to take something from this fixture. That one's thudded into the bulging deltoid of referee Russell Jones. Who of course must now restart play with the drop ball. Rumeri now. One's well read by Macaulay. He's got Shanks ahead of him, who gets on his bike. It's cut out by Kremen, however. Godoy out on the left-hand side. Thompson in the middle, who's cleared, but only as far as Godoy again. Rumeri now from distance into the arms of Stuart Hill. Here's Macaulay. Baple looking to catch up with that one, which he won't be able to. So we'll declare it a win here for Palmerston North Marist, which sees them played 15 games, a goal difference of 14 and on 31 points. And Palmerston North Marist, if they win all their games, they'll end up on 33. So if there's a draw on Wednesday, it'll come down to goal difference in the league. Unless Thistle has something to say about it. And they haven't rolled over here, Thistle, today. They've kept plugging away. Of course, no Summerton on the pitch now, which is a new situation this season. It's been a real linchpin that they've built themselves around. this year. 17 goals in 12 games is, of course, a massive return. So Rumeri now going across the top of the box. Salmon back for the defensive header as Godoy chops on to the left, and it's a fine finish at the near post. Could be a crucial event in the season for Marist as well, as they go up 4-0 here. And the heads definitely go down now for Thistle. Well and truly into referees' time here at Childers Road Reserve. And Thistle looking for a consolation now. Of course, remiss to not mention so far no Nicholas Land for Thistle today either, out on that left-hand side, where he's been doing such a good job since coming back from injury. Baples tried today, and here he is on the ball now. Travelling into the middle of the pitch again. Here's Ewer, goes underneath, has Thompson on his inside. It's a sweeping move for Thistle, just lacking that final touch. And Summerton will be sitting on the side thinking, where was he? There's Gisborne Thistle Club captain Reece Brewer up on the mound there that separates the two fields here at Childers Road Reserve. Charlton, a fine touch there. Couldn't quite get it through to Hughes. A long throw from Bogue, has Aitken in the middle. Minshaw now. Charlton trying to touch that one around Macaulay. Salmon picks this one up. Hall ahead of him. Godoy slips that one for Rumeri. He's looking for the fifth there. And it's going to be a penalty there. Macaulay's caught the heel of Rumeri. And Marist now are really looking to put the exclamation mark on this one. It's a great save from Stuart Hill. It's for the rebound. It's a double save there. Godoy with it on the area now, and it's a triple save for Stuart Hill. Fine note to finish with there for Stuart Hill. Captain's effort with the triple save from the spot. Here's Hughes now looking to get into the area, and they're relentless at the moment, Marist. They really are coming in waves at Thistle. So Macaulay there battling away again. Plays quickly as Baple on the left-hand side. Looks to go long, and it's Hall looking to put some pace in, and you almost wondered whether there was going to be a spectacular collision at the end of that. Here's Hall with the throw. Still waiting for that throw to come from Hall here. Visions of the primary school football at Watson Park. Kids standing on the side, not quite sure what to do. Not a whole lot of options ahead of him there for Hall. Here's Smith now. Venema recovers well and manages to disrupt him once and twice. Law of his own. Broken the hand of Stuart Hill there on passion. Spapel Senior has a go at the VO camera. It's Aitken standing over this one now, looking for that fifth for Marist. Stuart Hill at the ready. It's into the upright. You'll say exceptionally well judged by Stuart Hill there. Takes the goal kick quickly. He's got McCauley. Noon now, after coming off injury last weekend, has done well to get through the 90 minutes today. And again, this will just build to that end of the season. That's all they'll have today before we see you the next time next week, where we'll know whether it's a drag race to the finish for Palmerston North United or a series of fixtures to avoid the spoon for Thistle. In any case, thanks for your company today. And we'll see you again on Rangai Media next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you then.